Welcome to Inside Werner Wildlife Museum with India and Levi. Today we're going to talk about grizzly bears. North America is home to two species of Ursus arctos, or brown bear. The Kodiak bear is found in northern coastal areas, most notably the Kodiak archipelago of Alaska. The grizzly bear, a smaller, lighter-colored beast, occupies land further inland and includes populations in Alaska, Canada, and the northern Rocky Mountains in the United States. Grizzly bear habitat once extended across the entire western United States from the Canadian border to Mexico, including the edges of the Great Plains and along rivers into desert country. By the time conservation efforts began in the mid-1970s, extermination efforts and loss of habitat led to extirpation of grizzlies from 98% of their original habitat. In the last 50 years, grizzlies have made a remarkable recovery in the northern Rocky Mountains, where they can now be found in forests, alpine meadows, various riparian areas, and even some prairie land. Grizzly bears have short, rounded ears, a dished face, long claws on their front feet, and a prominent shoulder hump composed of powerful muscles. A large male can weigh up to 1,700 pounds. A large female can weigh up to 800 pounds. From nose to tail, grizzlies range from 5.5 feet to 8 feet in length and 3.5 or 4 feet at the shoulder. Though they may look large and ungainly as they lumber along, these creatures can easily outrun a human, with some animals being clocked at a speed of 35 miles per hour. Sows with cubs are especially dangerous if surprised at close range. Grizzly bears range in color from pale tan to dark brown. Some individuals sport white-tipped fur that gives rise to the name grizzly. Despite their position at the top of the food chain, grizzlies are omnivores that regularly dine on roots, fruit, berries, grass, and forbs. When they're in the mood for something more substantial, their prey includes salmon, ground-dwelling mammals, and hoofed animals like elk, moose, and deer. Grizzly bears in some areas may also target domestic cattle and sheep, leading to trouble for ranchers. Grizzlies hibernate in winter dens for up to 7 months out of the year in order to minimize energy expenditure when food's not readily available. Throughout the summer and autumn, grizzlies prepare for winter by consuming as much food as they can find in order to build up fat reserves. As bad weather draws near, they find a hillside and use their long claws and powerful hump muscles to dig a hole in the slope. Once inside their winter home, they reduce heart rate, body temperature, and metabolic activities. Bear hibernation doesn't include deep, unceasing sleep. They can wake up quickly if disturbed. Pregnant females are generally the first to enter winter dens, where they will give birth and nurse their cubs until spring comes and food supplies become available. Females with cubs enter hibernation next, followed by solitary males and females. Come spring, they will emerge in reverse order. Female grizzlies can mate with more than one male during their seasons. Once pregnant, a phenomenon called delayed implantation takes place, preventing embryos from developing for several months. If at the time of denning the female lacks sufficient body weight to sustain a pregnancy, the embryo will reabsorb, giving her a head start on a successful pregnancy the following year. When a female possesses plenty of body fat, the embryo implants in her uterus and gestation begins. 1 to 4 cubs, usually 2, will be born in January or February and remain in the den with mom until spring. Mother bears care for cubs for at least 2 years before cubs move out on their own. In times of low food supplies, cubs may remain with their mothers a little longer. Separation is usually prompted when the mother comes into season and begins to attract males. The cubs will reach sexual maturity themselves at around 5 years of age. Except for females with cubs, grizzlies are solitary and territorial. Occasionally, groups may congregate around a plentiful food supply, such as a fish-filled river or a poorly fenced garbage dump. In addition to being fast sprinters, grizzlies are fine swimmers. Cubs can climb trees, but lose the ability as their front claws grow. Grizzly bears can live to 25 to 30 years in the wild, though most die before reaching those ages.